Well, she had difficulty in walking, so we had to help her, actually assist her at sometimes to get up off the floor and physically stand her back up for about 4 days that went on. We did, I believe, a week to 10 days. I believe it was a week of 24-hour care where we watched her, took care of her, slept with her. We were afraid that she had something permanent that was going to keep her from getting up. And apparently it's more muscle strain than anything else. And right now she's capable of getting up and down in the exhibit. She runs away from us. She's getting stronger, but she'll never be a show giraffe. She doesn't quite have that. So that makes her special again. She's got all the little sort of childhood difficulties that makes us work harder, but love it more. Talk into the mic.
This is the Avian Conservation Center at the San Francisco Zoo, which is the home of our breeding program for a number of different species, specifically our birds of prey. Butte is the father of some of the chicks, Shasta is the mother. Essentially they're, as adult birds, breeding stock who have lived here for most of their lives, and essentially they're the ones who produce the eggs, and the eggs are the ones that eventually grow up and go back to the wild. So essentially it's a program that we designed specifically to propagate the eagles in captivity and release the offspring into the wild, because bald eagles essentially have been doing so well in the wild, and their population has come back to such an extent that we're not breeding as many offspring as we used to. They're still on the threatened list. They're definitely not out of the woods, but because they're a threatened species now and not in as much immediate danger, we're not breeding quite as many as we used to. And it's a sign that there's some success out there and some hope for the species.
When I came to work on March 6th, came in early in the morning, we had put up a little camera box inside of the nest box to watch for the cubs, hoping that they'd be coming soon. The morning I got in there, I see Mom kind of pacing around, looking like she might be going into labor. And she took her tongue and licked the front of the camera. So we had a big smudge mark, could not see any of the cubs being born, but we can see her movements. And we can see how, you know, she perfectly would give birth in one spot, clean the cub in that spot, and move them. Even though we didn't see the cub, we saw this action the whole time. So that morning was pretty exciting. Our guesses were pretty right on. We guessed that she had 3 cubs because of what she was doing and how many times she did it. So yeah, March 6th was a very exciting day for us. We waited it was over 2 weeks before we got to go in and actually peek and take a look at the cubs and make sure that they were healthy and everybody was good. When we first got to hold them, their eyes were still shut. Very, very small ears. They looked like almost like a typical kitten, but it was very exciting just holding them in your hand and knowing that, oh my God, I'm holding a baby tiger cub.
The 2 chicks that we have here at the Avian Conservation Center now are Magellanic penguin chicks. They're just over 30 days old. They're at about the age that they would be leaving the burrow in the wild. So it's about the age that the parents have sort of started to wean them off of food. They're starting to come out of the burrow and explore. And that's about the time that we usually bring them up here to the Avian Conservation Center so that we can start to essentially socialize the chicks. You know, if we were to leave the penguins on the island to grow up completely without human contact, they end up very nervous as adult birds. So essentially what these guys are doing up here with socialization with the penguin chicks is desensitizing them to close human contact, physical contact. So a socializer, when they sign up for the task, is essentially gonna go in, sit on the floor with the penguin chicks. If the penguins approach them, they're gonna pet them and get them all sorts of tactile stimulation so that they get used to being handled and touched by humans. And essentially we're just trying to teach them that humans are not a scary thing, that we're a source of food, that we're not gonna hurt them, that they can approach us and not be afraid.
I think he's enjoying the warmth more than anything. Very soft, very downy fur. You can tell the personalities are already coming out. Correct me if I'm wrong, Plankton seems more of the biter than Shiva.
Oh, Plankton's feisty.
Yeah, so this one, he'll get feisty. You'll see when flies go buzzing by, they'll try and catch them in the air. It's pretty cute.